Hey guys, Tony here and welcome back to another room tour. This one is a special one for me because it's actually only 10 minutes from my house, and this room belongs to James and his family. The room was built by my good friend Mick Stallone from Sydney Hi-Fi in Mona Vale, and he has outdone himself. This is an incredible home theatre. This is actually James's second theatre room, so he was able to do all of the things that he missed out on doing in the first one. This is a 7.4.4 setup featuring Krix MX-30 speakers and Krix speakers all round. So guys, sit back, relax, grab a drink because this is going to be a good one. So stay tuned. So guys, taking a look at the room itself, the dimensions are 5.8 meters long by 5.2 meters wide and 3 meters high, which are pretty good dimensions for a home theatre. You have a lot of lateral space, which means that you can fit enough chairs in the side while still having separation between the surround and the rear speakers to your main seated position. The walls themselves are painted in Dulux Monument, which is a really nice earthy tone, and it matches well with the rest of the aesthetic of the room. James also decided to go with a special acoustic paneling system, which is featuring a composite decking type material with absorbent material at the back. So as I can tell just by being in this room, there aren't really any echoes at all. It has a bit of a lively sound to it, but it's obviously being absorbed and diffused quite well. So when it comes to passive absorption and diffusion, we have the Artnovion panels that you see right here, which feature a special backing so that you can change the type of absorption or diffusion system and also have the really nice consistent look to the front facing panels. I'm a little partial to Artnovion myself, and I'm really impressed with how they turned out in the room. Along the back wall as well, we have the same composite material, and this is great because it not only absorbs but it also diffuses the sound. I'm standing here and I can listen to my voice, and it's quite a natural sound. There aren't any echoes, but it does feel quite natural and a little bit lively. So this panel system worked out really well. There were some other constraints in the room that James had to contend with, and it worked out really well by having the acoustic panels on the back wall and then also having them on the side pillars. Another really cool piece of the room is this cabinet here, which houses all of James' physical media collection. He's been an avid collector for a while and he's a big proponent for physical media, so I totally agree with him on that. We need to keep physical media alive, and as such he's got a whole collection of Blu-rays and also 4Ks. He managed to pick up some of the Harry Potter ones in 4K. He had the Blu-rays previously and he's upgraded them, so I think that's a great idea. Still keep your Blu-rays if you can, but upgrade to your 4K collection slowly over time. James tells me he's pretty much run out of room and he's probably going to stack another one up here so that he can add some more to the collection. When it came to the colouring and the lighting for the room, James wanted to go with the earthy tones, and he really likes the brass look that goes with these earthy tones in the room. So he picked up these awesome looking brass wall sconces, and they do have some LEDs in there. They're not colour changing, but they do sort of reflect off the brass look and give a golden glow to the room. They look really nice as an art piece in the room as well. The rest of the lighting in the room is also done with generic LED strips because the bulkhead was built with a section so that he could put LEDs facing upwards, and as you can see, it creates a glow around the top part of the room. James was also intent on getting a star ceiling, so Mick and the team installed the star ceiling that you see there. It does do multicolored LEDs. I'm noticing purple and pink, and it sort of cycles through the different colors. I'm quite partial to star ceilings myself, and this looks great in the room. For house lights, we just have some down lights in the middle. There's only 4 of them, but they do a great job of keeping the room really well lit. I'm able to film this room with only 1 additional light, so you can see you can get pretty decent light in this room if you just want to come in and chill out. I know that James was telling me that he likes to use this room as a whiskey room. He's even got a couple of glasses right there now with some top shelf whiskey in them, and these tub chairs are what he uses if he wants to chill out and relax with the kids sitting in the front recliners. He can just sit in the tub chair with his wife and they can chill out and have a glass. So when it came to the seating, James reached out to me and ordered a set of Valencia Piacenza. Now these are in the cinema range for Valencia, and I'm actually a dealer for Valencia in Australia, so hit me up if you're after some Valencia home theatre seating. They do have the neck recline, which was really important to James, and they also have the leg recline as well, so you can sit back and chill out and watch a movie, and then you can adjust the headrest. They don't have the lumbar support. Those go up quite significantly in price once you start adding all the extra features. These chairs are really comfortable. The headrest is actually nice and pillowy. So I can see this is really, this is a really nice spot to sit back and watch a movie. James also opted to go for the wine caddies, which you can see here. They're nice and solid, but you can put your wine or any other glass in there that fits. They're really solid, and they fit into the accessory holders nicely. James also opted for some carbon fiber tray tables. They're really solid and sturdy. They're designed to fit with his chair system. You can put bowls, you can put anything on there, and you can twist them around to a position that suits you. I'll have links to my website and Valencia down in the description. As the design of the house required to have some windows, this room has 2 big glass windows on the side. So what James decided to do was to get some built-in curtains, which are an S-wave curtain, and basically you can open it up and you can get some nice natural light into the room. But of course, when you're watching a movie, light is the enemy. So there's a nice concealed track system here, and you can just close them up. They are acoustic as well, so they seem to be blocking. I'm talking into them and they seem to be absorbing some of the sound. They're quite nice and thick. As James needed to build out a plinth system for the Krix MX-30s, he also decided to build a custom cabinet system here, which is where he houses his electronics, which include all the amplifiers and the processor. And he has a wide selection of amps here, which I'll show you a little later in the video. But this system here allows him to have all of his electronics in the room. The front of them is actually vented. So this is feels like a steel mesh. So that allows the system to breathe and lots of cool air come into the front so they don't overheat. Air serves a purpose, as well as being able to have the screen going right in line with it. So that's a 120-inch screen, and Mick has developed a hinge system. So you can see here, you can actually lift it up and you can see the speakers behind, which are the Krix MX-30s. So I'll show you a little bit more about them later. James also has some posters and movie memorabilia of his favourite shows up on the wall, and that just adds a little bit of character to the room. Up the top there you can see there is a built-in air conditioning vent. It's quite large, so you can get tons of air into the room, keeps the projector nice and cool as well. Having the air conditioning vents at the back also means that he didn't have to cut into the star ceiling to allow the air to come through the ceiling. There's only holes put in for the speakers, and I'll show you that in a little bit. When it came to the carpet, James chose a nice charcoal look which matches the rest of the room. It has some brown tones in it, so it kind of matches the walls as well, and it has a nice thick underlay, so it acts as an acoustic absorbent material as well as feeling really nice underfoot. Overall, I really like the tones and the colours that James has picked for his home theatre. So when it came to the speakers, James chose the Krix MX-30 wall of sound. These are actually my favourite of all the MX speakers. They are a two-way speaker with big 18-inch subwoofers, so they really give a lot of power and sound to this room. So Mick has built this hinge as I showed you earlier, and I'll lift it up so that you can take a look. There we go. You can see the MX-30s there. They have an acoustic absorbent material on the front so that it can absorb any sound reflections that do make their way back to the screen. So guys, when it came to the surrounds and the rear surrounds, James went with the Phonics in-wall. So Krix have made this speaker designed especially so that it goes into the wall but mounts very flush with the wall. So you can see when I take the grill off, you can see it has this steel plate on the outside which is powder coated. It allows them to get really close to flush with the wall as well. So I think they look pretty cool without the grill, but obviously not everyone's like me and they want to put grills on. So I'll just put them back for James, seeing as that's how we had them before I took it off. So when it came to the overhead speakers for the Atmos effects and other object-based sounds, James went with the Krix IC52. Which used to be called the Atmospherics A20, which I also have in my room. There's 4 of them and they are angled all towards the main seated position. These produce an amazing sound. I can attest to that myself. They sound great in this room as well. Mick's got them listed on his website at the moment. Check the links down below. Pairing the 2 big Krix cyclonic subwoofers in the front, we have these absolutely monster SVS PB13 Ultra Subwoofers. James has had these for many years and he's decided to keep them. They look very rustic, they're pretty in pretty good condition, but I can see they probably have been around a little while. They're absolutely massive. They've got a steel grate on the front, which is similar to all of the other SVS subwoofers. But you can see I'm not a small guy, and you can see this thing is ginormous. He's got 2 of them. He's got one on that side and one on this side, and that just creates you know, having bass in all 4 corners really helps to even out the response in the room. You get a nice punch in the back. So yeah, These are pretty cool. So guys, when it comes to projection, James went with the JVC NX7. It's the previous model to the current NZ line of laser projectors from JVC, but the NX7 is absolutely mind-blowing. As a JVC fan myself, this projector gives some of the most incredible black levels that you'll ever see on a projector. We're gonna run through some demos, which you're probably looking at right now, and I'm telling you, like, the black levels on this thing, they're just very difficult to beat, even in much more expensive projectors. So guys, taking a look under the cabinet here, we do have a Thor power conditioner down the bottom there. That's a big unit, so it can protect all of his equipment. And up here you can see a very cool player, which is the Oppo 205. It's a UHD Blu-ray player, discontinued, very highly sought after. James was able to snag this a few years ago, and he's kept it in his setup. Really cool Blu-ray player, and that's what we've been watching the demos on. So moving along to this rack, we have the MARANTZ 8802A, which is an AV processor that can do 11.2, which is perfect for this room because it's 9.4.4. And then we have this absolute behemoth of an amplifier, which weighs over 50 kilos, and this one does the LCR. It's the Proceed HPA3, and that does 250 watts per channel by 3 channels. Next to that, we also have the Yamaha PX8 amplifier, which is for the MX-30 subwoofers. And in the last rack, we have the Halcro MC50, which he uses to power the rest of the speakers, and also the Rotel, which he's kept and he's had since he was a young boy. So he's had this amplifier for like 18 years or something like that. So that's just shows how long amplifiers can last in your setup. So guys, let's take one final look around James's room. And while we do that, I'd like to thank James for inviting me into his home, and I'd like to congratulate Mick on another fine home theater build. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, why not hit the like button for me and subscribe to see my future room tour videos. I do have some more coming up in the new year. I've already filmed them, they just need to be edited. So why not subscribe so that you don't miss those videos. Also, check the links down in the description. I'll have everything in this room listed down below, so check them out if you're interested. Again, thanks very much for watching, but that's it for this one. You'll catch me in the next one. Bye for now.